So I was talking about decision making from the perspective of mind, consciousness, and thought. So starting with thought, and first of all pointing out that we only feel like we have a decision to make when we don't know. Right? If we know, it doesn't feel like a decision. It's a done deal. And when we don't know, that's when we start to get caught up in our heads. And how do I figure this out? And what more information do I need? And who should I ask? And how do I weigh the pros and cons? Thank you. And we kind of put this thought process into our decision making. And yet, if you've ever had the experience of having a decision to make and you don't know what to do, and you just kind of say, like, I'm not going to think about this right now, and you go away from it, and then an hour later or a day later, all of a sudden you're like, I know the answer. Because it comes from a deeper place. So that's the opportunity to tap into universal mind. And to notice that we've got this wisdom available to us that's so much bigger than what we're carrying up here. And when we settle and even let ourselves have an opportunity to step away from the decision, it often comes to us. I was actually, this isn't about decision making, but this is about inspiration. I was watching a little video on Facebook earlier. One of my colleagues posted, there's a group in Chicago called One Solution Global. And they work with kids, inner city kids, and they teach them these principles and how the mind works in order to give them a better understanding so that they can see that they're not a victim of their life. That they have an opportunity to create their life through their own state of mind and their own well-being and their own thought. And so these kids were putting on a performance, and one of the girls got up and she said, I had an assignment to write a poem, and I was really stressing over my poem. Didn't know what to write, and I just decided I was gonna get away from this, the thinking about it. And as I was doing something else, the whole poem just came to me. We've all had that experience. The same thing with decision making. And then the final, so that's thought, and then mind. And then where does consciousness come in around decision making? Is that when we're settled and we feel our best, our vision opens, and our possibilities expand, and all of a sudden we can see things that we couldn't see when we were stressed about it and things got bad. So I guess the only thing I'll add to that is that I definitely had in my life times when I came to a decision and I just knew that it was the right thing, like in every bone in my body, and just went forward from that place of this is the absolute right thing. And I've also had experiences in my life where I was looking for an answer, not even necessarily a decision, just an answer to something, and just decided I was going to step away from it, and then it just comes. And it's happened so often that I've gotten to the point where if I don't know, I just know that I don't know. And I don't know yet. And eventually the answer comes. The only thing that gets in the way of that is sometimes we have a time limit. So sometimes we're required to make a decision in a time limit. And the thing that I found about that also is that if you don't know until you do know. And if the time limit comes to an end and you still don't know, chances are it's not a decision that one way or the other really matters that much. Whatever we choose, we go down that path. May not have been as big a deal as we kind of thought it was